Acts 13:32 through 41. We tell you the good news. What God promised our ancestors, he has fulfilled for us, their children, by raising up Jesus. As it is written in the second Psalm, you are my son, today I have become your father, from Psalm 2:7. God raised him from the dead so that he will never be subject to decay. And as God has said, I will give you the holy and sure blessings promised to David, from Isaiah 55 verse 3. So it is also stated elsewhere, you would not let your Holy One see decay, from Psalm 16:10. Now when David had served God's purpose in his own generation, he fell asleep, he was buried with his ancestors, and his body decayed. But the one whom God raised from the dead did not see decay. Therefore, my friends, I want you to know that through Jesus, the forgiveness of sins is proclaimed to you. Through him, everyone who believes is set free from every sin, a justification you were not able to obtain under the law of Moses. Take care that what the prophets have said does not happen to you. Look, you scoffers, wander and perish, for I am going to do something in your days that you would never believe, even if someone told you, from Habakkuk 1:5. Paul continues his good news speech at the synagogue in Pisidian Antioch, and here talking about the children receiving the fulfillment of the promise to their ancestors. Here, the Old and New Testaments are working seamlessly together. What I really want to get to today is Paul's quotation from the Hebrew Bible, and there's really 3 out of the 4 that I want to cover in this section. The first is Psalm 2:7, indicated here in the first quote, accepted in Jewish tradition as a Messianic verse, and here today talking about, you are my son and I am your father. The second here in Isaiah 55 verse 3, about an everlasting covenant through the Davidic line, re-emphasizing that this is no military rebellion, but a spiritual kingdom come to reign in love. And then the third one from Psalm 16 and verse 10, which is also in Peter's Pentecost sermon. This is where David is thanking God for pleasant boundaries and the promise that he won't go down to Sheol in burial and decay. Of course, David's body was buried and decayed, as Luke indicates right after that. And so scholars believe he's talking about someone else there. And that's why Paul preaches that the promises to David are fulfilled in Jesus. In total, Luke refers to the Hebrew Bible about 100 times in the book of Acts. And what's important about that is, in order for the Gentiles to learn the complete story about the Christian religion, they had to also be educated in the faith history of the Judean heritage. It then seems like a logical leap to assume the same thing about today, that Christians of the 21st century ought to know their whole Bible and the roots from which they come.